Good morning. My name is Alicia Ravencroft. My pronouns are she, her. Welcome to First Unitarian Church, where our mission is to explore the eternal, nurture community, and pursue the common good. We welcome you in your brokenness and your wholeness. No matter who you have been, who you are becoming, know that you are seen, you are heard, and you are loved. Some announcements I've got this morning here. Next Sunday at 4 p.m. Here in the sanctuary, the Oklahoma Flute Society member recital will take place, and that is free and open to the public. And then I also there will be a short Sustainable Living Organization members in the Eddy Room to discuss next week's Earth Day service. After that, there'll be musical practice for the service. I want to welcome our guest musicians today, members of the Oklahoma Action Chorus under the direction of Ramona Diaz. If y'all want to go ahead and start getting in position, because they're going to do our prelude here in just a moment. Ramona Diaz will be sharing more about the organization with us here in a few. But first, they're going to do our prelude, which is We Shall Overcome. And because, well, these are my people, I'm going to go join the choir.
We light our chalice in Midtown, Oklahoma, on land that was home to the first Americans, including the Apache, Caddo, and Wichita. On land that was taken from the Muskogee and Seminole and other removed and relocated peoples. We light the chalice as a symbol of our sacred time together. The burning chalice represents the light of reason and science, the warmth of loving community, the cleansing heat of justice, and the flame of hope.
My friends, I welcome every one of you and thank you for taking this time to share in our community. My hope is that by coming together to share, we can send a message that we are still here and we're not going anywhere. The ones who came before us showed us in riots past that sometimes you have to get a little angry to be heard. But for now, for us here together, I think even the quietest voices can be very powerful. We are all here to live, to protect each other, to help one another. And whether you are called to resist or just struggling to exist, here you are seen, here you are heard, and here you are loved. So to all those gathered here and to all those who may watch wherever you are, know that we are with you and we are thankful for your presence here. In the spirit of community, we're going to greet those around us today, and in a couple of moments, Steve will start the first hymn, which will be 168, One More Step. And now I would like to ask Ramona Diaz, Director of the Oklahoma Action Chorus, to come give a reflection.
Thanks. All right. First, I got to make sure everyone can hear me. So thumbs up in the back. Oh, I love the enthusiasm. Okay. So sorry? I love it. All right. Well, that's good. I really appreciate this welcome. It means so much to me. I started this group because at one point in my life I felt very lonely and very sad. And, somewhere along the way I picked up this piece of wisdom. Definitely wasn't something I made up, but action is the remedy to despair. And so I started a group called the Transgender Action Chorus, just to get people out there and show up consistently, and I think that we've done a good job with that. After a while, I realized that there's a lot more than just trans people who are struggling. So we changed the name to the Oklahoma Action Chorus and began to investigate a little deeper the causes of some of the pain and violence that we're seeing. And, on this journey, I've come a long way personally, understanding the depths of the oppression that exists in our world, particularly, regarding the history of colonialism and the ongoing violence of imperialism that we're seeing, in Palestine, right, of course, but not just Palestine, everywhere, including our own communities here. So with all that, I raise this to say that the Oklahoma Action Chorus is a space where we build community together and we challenge ourselves to see a better world by uplifting the songs of people who have come before us, who have fought before us, and always wanting to learn and do better. So really appreciate getting to share community with everyone today. I will read briefly one of the singers sent me something they wanted me to share. So they said that the Action Chorus has always been a welcoming and affirming space, one that's allowed me to explore my identity, find my voice, and a supportive community in a state where I did not even think it was possible anymore. It continues to do these things and more as the Oklahoma Action Chorus. It's been amazing to see how it's grown from a choir room of scared trans people into a group dedicated to empowering and taking care of each other. So what's next for us is continuing to go out into our communities, sharing this mission, this vision, and I really, again, appreciate you being a part of that. So I'm going to have a seat, and you'll get to hear more from us in a little bit. So thanks.
Good morning, and for our story time today, I would like to invite any children to come on up so you can take a look at the pictures as we're telling the story. Come on up, come on up. Children, youth, and those young at heart are invited to join us up front. I fully expected to see you up here with me. All right. Wherever you want to sit, you can sit on the step. You can sit next to me, or you can stand right there if you want. Yes. So our story today is Not Quite Narwhal by Jesse Simo. Kelp was born deep in the ocean. He knew early on that he was different from other narwhals. His tusk wasn't as long as everyone else's. He had different tastes in food, and he wasn't a very good swimmer. Does he look like a good swimmer there? No. He was trying, absolutely. But his friends didn't seem to mind, so Kelp decided he wouldn't mind either. That is, until he was swept away by a strong current. "I wish I was better at swimming," he said. Kelp found himself at the surface, closer to land than he'd ever been before. High up on a cliff, he spotted a mysterious, sparkling creature. It looked so familiar, it looked like kelp. What do you think that is up there?
A unicorn.
You think it's a what?
Unicorn.
It's a unicorn up there. Kelp swam toward land as fast as he could, which wasn't very fast at all, hoping that he could catch up with the creatures that looked just like him. When he finally reached the shore, Kelp felt a little bit anxious. He had never left the ocean before. He was nervous about walking for the first time, but the land creatures made it look so easy. First, he tried to crawl like a crab. That didn't work. And then he tried to hop like a frog. That didn't work either. But eventually he got the hang of it by walking like a, what animal is that?
Turtle.
What?
Turtle.
Turtle, yes. Walk like a turtle. Everything on land was strange and beautiful, but also kind of scary. Kelp began to think he might never find the creature that looked just like him. But as he stumbled out of the forest... Here, why don't you stand right over here, okay? All right. Why don't you stand right over there as well? Okay. He found the land narwhals. Actually, were unicorns. And by the looks of it, so are you. Kelp had never heard of unicorns before. They taught him all sorts of new things about his tusk. We call them horns. Wow. They introduced him to unicorn delicacies, and they showed him how to gallop, just like that. There was no doubt that Kelp was, in fact, a unicorn. He was having so much fun, he didn't want to leave. But then he remembered all of his friends under the sea. Kelp missed them terribly, so he said goodbye to the unicorns and returned to the ocean. Come back soon, they said. Kelp swam toward home as fast as he could, which wasn't very fast at all, hoping that the narwhals would still like him now that he was a unicorn. When he finally arrived, Kelp had butterflies in his stomach. What's that sign say?
Welcome home.
The sign says, "Welcome home, Kelp." Kelp took a deep breath and told his friends the news. It turns out, I'm not a narwhal. Of course you aren't, they replied. I'm a unicorn. We all knew that. Well, they took it quite well. Kelp was happy to be home, but now that he'd experienced life on land with the unicorns, he couldn't seem to forget about them. Did he want to be a land narwhal with the unicorns, or a sea unicorn with the narwhals? Kelp couldn't decide. But then he realized that maybe,
He could be both.
just maybe, what?
He could be both.
He could be both. He didn't have to choose. The end. Thank you for coming here. You guys can head back to your seats. You can go back to your seat. Good job. High five. Good job.
Hello, I am Hazel Tate. I am a tall white woman with curly brown hair with a floral green dress, as using she, her pronouns. Every Sunday we take an offering, and since 2002, all the cash and designated checks from that offering have gone directly to nonprofit organizations doing good work. Our Change for Change partners this month is a campaign for Southern Equality, an organization committed to advancing 2S LGBTQIA+ rights across the South. Through advocacy, legal support, and diverse services, they work to promote equality, dignity, and safety for the 2S LGBTQIA+ community, such as their programs helping to get gender-affirming care to those in places where laws have restricted access to health care. For those of you who are in the sanctuary with us today, in just a moment, we'll be passing the offering plate. And if you're watching us online, please make your gifts by sending a check to First Unitarians, just write Change for Change on the memo line, or make an online payment through our online website, oneusc.org.
Now is a time in our service where we sing all of our unicorns and narwhals off to their religious exploration classes along with their teachers. Please join me in singing Go Now in Peace.
We have a few more choir members than usual, so we have extra space, and it's kind of nice. I think I need to breathe for a second now. Oh, well, that works out well. I wrote that into the meditation. So the last time I tried to stand up here and talk about prayer or meditation, I ended up talking about a panic attack, about trying to find some kind of calm in the center of chaos. Well, today I cheated. I just kind of brought my calm with me. I brought all the people that make me smile, make me laugh, give me hope. And since a lot of us share a common love of singing together, and when choirs sing and join their voices, their hearts, their minds, even their breath become this common shared space where we express ourselves together. So I'd like to invite you all to just breathe with me. So what we're going to do, this will look familiar to a few of the choir people. We're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. I'm not going to make you breathe out for 12 because I think that's hard. All right, so when I raise my hand, we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. When I lower my hand, we're going to breathe out for 4 seconds. It's very easy. Ready? Breathe in. I am grateful for every single one of you today. And breathe out. And I see each of you and love you as you are. Breathe in. Every hardship we will face together. Breathe out. Remembering that we are the only ones who decide our identities. Breathe in. And today, in this space, know above all, breathe out, that you are seen, you are heard, and you are loved. So I ended up doing a sermon again. That's strange. We'll see how it goes. Do you think they see? Those far from beyond these walls in Oval Offices and Congress halls with smiling faces passing grotesque laws, do you think they see? Visibility is complicated. At a time in this country, especially when it feels both vital to our survival while also being the biggest risk to that survival. Being seen truly as you are is liberating in a way. In a way I wish I had words to express. I just wish I didn't have the words to express how terrifying it is right now. So when I started looking at this service, I was already afraid. I was afraid to ask other people to participate. I was afraid not to ask people to participate. But above all, I kept coming back to the same question, and I asked it in a number of different ways to a number of different people, and I still don't know if I have the answer. And I don't know. It feels important this year. Now, what I won't ask is if they see the hardship they're creating, the pain, the suffering, because at this point, it's been made pretty clear that the suffering is the point. There doesn't seem to be much useful conversation trying to appeal to empathy right now. And to be honest, I'm tired of crying. But do you think they see? Closer now, here in our own state, how do we exist amidst such rampant hate as we question if it's already too late? Do you think they see? And I know myself have probably stood on one side of this chancel or the other and mentioned that those little things that sometimes happen on a day-to-day basis in here that still hurt. And if we can do things to prevent people in our lives from hurting, that seems like a good enough reason. But beyond that, beyond trying to be accepting, trying not to offend someone, somewhere in there is the idea of really knowing people. I have been the first trans friend for a surprising number of people, and to be honest, that's absurd, because I don't know what I'm doing. There's no way I should be the guiding principle for anyone's reactions. But it did make it clear why some of the things that seem like they're being allowed to happen are, because no one's seen them, no one's heard them, no one knows them. Do you think they see that kindness small that brings us a smile, that compliment of one's strength or style, that relief and joy for just a while? Do you think they see? I don't know how relatable this is for some of you, at least it might not as I first describe it, but feeling euphoric about something about your gender, about your identity, about your body for the first time in your 40s was certainly an experience. However, it did provide me with a perspective to see joy in places that I had always associated with depression and anxiety, places like the mirror, getting dressed, looking at my hair. But by far, my favorite discovery has been getting to share these types of experiences with my friends and community, seeing his eyes light up when we see how strong he's gotten or that new beard that he's rocking, seeing her nervous excitement when someone takes her to finally get her ears pierced, or that first time she gets flowers, the first time he makes someone else feel safe or gets asked to move furniture, the first time someone makes her feel pretty. The experiences of joy and expression are thankfully far more complex than I've ever myself experienced. But when I see a face light up because their affirming friends are letting him try out a new name or including her in their girls' night, when I get to see these things happen now, do you know what I'm not thinking? I'm not thinking about how difficult it is to remember the new names or pronouns, or how even those among us who it deliberately, is desperately important for us to get it right still make mistakes. I'm not thinking about how worried I am offending someone for slipping up. Do you think they see that act of knowing each other's hearts, of accepting us with all our broken parts, that hope can be born from a simple start? Do you think they see? And none of that is a bad thing to think about. Heavens, let people be considering and compassionate, please. But for me, that tends to come from somewhere else. It's not a fear of driving people away, but it's a desire to see people thrive. It turns out I really like watching happy people. I mentioned someone, the first time I stood up here, it was the result of a clerical error. I did not read this job description, and I signed up for something I had no business doing. So when I started doing this one, I really wanted to be a little more intentional, because there felt like there were things I wanted to say. Now, to be honest, it went through a lot of edits. I'm pretty sure there's a sad ending, there's an angry ending, there's probably a musical version of this on the cutting room floor. There will be a director's cut with deleted scenes later. This day is about the visibility of trans people, and I want to believe that we can live in a world where that could be celebrated without risking their safety. I'm trying to somehow build a community that I'm still trying to understand myself the need for. I'm trying to affirm in others what I struggle to see in myself. I'm trying to be better than who I think I am. So as I watch people tell me that they believe what they believe because they don't align themselves with woke ideology, and as their loudest oligarch defines my existence and my joy as woke ideology, I keep asking myself, do you think they see? When the color of your skin places a bounty on your head, as people are locked away for just words that they've said, all those messages come in daily from the ones who want me dead, do you think they see? Because honestly, it's not the overt hood-wearing flags of affiliated bigotry that I'm afraid of right now, and I can't say that every day. But right now, it really isn't. Right now, it's supportive until we want to have families. It's supportive until we've made decisions about our health care. Supportive until we want to serve our countries. And it's not that I don't recognize that being affirming is complex and nuanced, and so is knowing any other human enough for it to matter. If I have a friend who has a specific food allergy or a phobia, that's something I know in the same way I know their pronouns. If a friend is strongly he, him, and rocks a skirt better than I could ever dream, that's just something I know about his style. As of today, the transition part of my journey has been less than 2 years. In 21 months, I have watched people in my life react to change. People I work with, people I used to sing with. I've also watched a world seemingly fall apart as the attacks on this community become more common thanks to the ones currently in power. From my own experience, because I don't know if I know what typical looks like, I've had people accept me and I've had people reject me. I've been tolerated and people have mourned my death. And none of that is why I'm still here. Because I'm still here in the midst of this chaos and fear because I found my community. And many of them are here today. I found the people who not only respected my journey and its complications, people who want to revel in my joy. And some days I can't find that joy. Some days it's the best I can do to show up and get things done. And on those days when happiness feels like a luxury that none of us have time or space for, that's when I need them. Because whether it's someone's new job, new hormones, new name, or we're just celebrating the collective survival in a state where our very existence has become a source of division, we need joy. I need that joy. I need to believe there's a world where we and my friends all make it, where we're allowed to be our own unique, messy, individual selves. Do you think they see? That in every attack upon our rights, more voices will rise to join the fight, and into uncertainty finally shed some light? Do you think they see? I don't know if there's a wrong or right time to start trying to understand your own identity. I don't recommend waiting as long as I did. But it wasn't until that first round of repulsive legislation a few years ago that I found how much strength there was in community and how much love. I met some of you at rallies to defend our rights. I almost hit one of you with a car. I hope he's still here. I bonded with many of you over music that we shared to amplify each other's voices. I started participating in a community in ways I never would have guessed. Not just because they give me hope, because their joy gives me happiness. And I love watching happy people. It's like kittens or puppies for the brain. Watching someone experiment with a new fashion style or try a new name, watching someone embrace something they always felt they had to hide from, watching the relief in someone's eyes when they see that they are more than accepted, they are wanted, and that they are loved. And if you've never gotten to see someone's face light up for knowing, not thinking, not believing, but knowing that they belong here, it's better than kittens. So for all of you here today, and anyone who needs to hear this today, I want to remind you that you are seen, you are heard, and you are loved. So earlier, the choir performed a lovely anthem based on one of the hymns from our hymnal. It's a beautiful arranged expansion of the original melody and words that Abuka did for us. And since music to me is a little bit like gender in that there's a lot of different expressions of similar ideas, I wanted to close this with a different piece that's based on the original tune as well, that thanks to Mr. Jacob Bailey here, we're now able to actually perform. Jacob?
In every life there's hardship that keeps us from the light, or a quiet thought that haunts us, fills our dreams with fright. But in each of us there lives a strength, a hope for which we fight. And if we keep moving forward, we will make it through this night. But there are those who wait in silence for a single tender word. There are those who cry in heartache, begging to be heard. There are those who spend their whole lives just trying to belong. And to all of them, I dedicate this song. So many tears have fallen, friends are lost along the way, but the memories we keep can make us stronger still today. We see the path before us and the challenges we face, but the love of those who support us surrounds us in this place. But there are those whose minds are broken from the tragedy they've known, And there are those still trembling in fear at the thought of going home. There are those staring in the mirror, just wishing they were gone. And to all of them, I dedicate this song. As I stand before you, sharing of myself, showing you my weakness and all my strengths as well. Hold on to each other, to the future and the past. For although the hardship lingers, it is love that truly lasts. But there are those who live as captives, trapped inside of their own minds. And there are those standing on street corners with no home left to find. But there are those who will stand beside you, and together we'll go on. And to all of them I dedicate this song. To all of you I dedicate my song.
We're up to extinguishing the chalice. Oh no, we're closing hymn. I'm trying to skip music. I don't know why I would do that. All right, if you would please join us for closing hymn 151, I Wish I Knew How.
All the things
We extinguish our chalice flame, but not the light of love and community which burns in our heart.
When you leave here, you are entering an entirely different world for every single one of us, filled with its own struggle and complexity such that no two souls ever experience life in the same way. But not everything out there changes. Out there we still exist. Out there we still breathe and love and cry and bleed and die. And none of that can be erased. None of that ever will be erased. So to everyone whom I love and to everyone who brings them joy, know that you are seen, know that you are heard, and know that you are loved. Thank you.
Hard to encourage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all. Darkness inside you makes you feel so small. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy, can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you taking all you can bear, just call me up because you know I'll be there. Now see your true colors shining through. Now see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True, beautiful, like a rainbow.